This right here is why Nigerians do not trust the Nigerian police force. This is why the Nigerians do not trust the military. And if I ever find myself being on the same side with the Nigerian government, then that's enough sign to tell me that I'm on the wrong side of history. Welcome back to the show, guys. I believe this is one of the best episodes that I'm bringing to you guys yet. So right now we have clearer details about how a group of Nigerian military officers had allegedly plotted to assassinate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and take over power. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is Nigeria's president. And to, really understand how serious this is, I have to take you guys back to when all of this first started. This whole thing started around September last year when there was rumors online circulating on Twitter, on Instagram about a possible military coup in Nigeria. At that time, people didn't think much of it because Nigeria has a long history with coup rumors. People saying, oh, I think a coup is coming. Oh, I think we should have a coup. Those rumors exist, and sometimes they turn out to just be whispers and rumors. But in fact, a lot of Nigerians actually do want a military coup to happen. How do I know this? Because I see it online. They are throwing hints every day about how they think a military head of state should take over. How do I personally feel about a military coup? I think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's as glamorous as we see it to be. But the fact that Nigerians are throwing hints, signaling that they want a military coup, it tells you how much democracy has been bastardized in Nigeria. When I was in secondary school, I was taught that democracy is government of the people, for the people, and by the people. But when we look at what we have in Nigeria, this is not the government of the people. The type of democracy that we practice in Nigeria is a democracy that was built solely for Nigeria. That is not government of the people. This current administration, in my opinion, I do not feel like that this current administration is the government of the people. The people always, they hint it always online. They say it. So this government, I don't think it's a government of the people. I don't think this government is for the people, because this government has not given me a reason yet to believe that this government is for the Nigerian people. And I don't think this is the government by the people. I don't think the people wanted this government. So now that brings me to sit and wonder, are we actually practicing a democracy? Back to how this military coup almost started. October 1st came, and as you know, every year Nigeria marks its Independence Day with a major military parade at Eagle Square in Abuja, part of so many ceremonies that's organized to celebrate our Independence Day. It's a big deal here in Nigeria if you're not Nigerian, and last year was supposed to be even much bigger because Nigeria was turning 65. So everyone was just kind of like expecting the parade as usual. Like I said, it's a usual celebration, but instead the parade was suddenly cancelled. What shocked a lot of people was when the government cancelled that parade, they didn't even give a lot of explanation. The federal government never gave Nigeria a proper explanation as to why they are cancelling the parade. All they did was just, a brief statement apologizing for the inconvenience, and that was it. Naturally, people started to ask questions. People would want to know, why is the government cancelling this? This is a day to honor Nigeria, honor the soldiers that have fought for us. Why is the government cancelling this parade? That's normal for people to ask those questions. On social media, especially Twitter, Nigerians began to connect the dots at this point. People started to link the coup. People started linking the earlier coup rumors to the sudden cancellation of the Independence Day celebration parade. But at that time, there was radio silence. No response from the presidency. There was also no response from the Nigerian armed forces. So there was nothing to kind of like confirm the coup or deny the coup. Nobody was saying anything. So yeah, then towards the end of October, that was around October 23rd, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made a major move. I think this is where it all started to make sense for a lot of people, including me. He sacked the chief defense officer. His name is Christopher Musa, and he sacked him along with other top military chiefs and then announced a replacement. Now, guys, look at all this happening at once. There's rumors of a coup. Independence Day was cancelled. Now he's firing top military officers and replacing them. So it was at this moment that people knew that something was wrong. But there were a group of people online who were saying that, well, maybe it's because of the allegations of a Christian genocide. The government is rearranging, his top military head of state, and insecurity was rising. So people started to think, oh, the government is actually adjusting to all these trends. The government wants to fight insecurity. That's why it's changing its military chiefs, head of, all those things. And now here is where it even gets more interesting. Before those sackings even happened, Sahara reporters had already published a report that alleged that about 16 military officers, including a brigadier general and a colonel, was arrested in late September. Yeah. According to that report, it says that intelligence had revealed that these officers were holding secret meetings and openly expressing how they feel about the presidency, how they felt about Tinubu's administration, how they are done and how they are tired. That news article came out and it's like everyone was like, oh, so this is why all of this is happening. But guess what? The Nigerian Defense Headquarters quickly came out and they dismissed those claims. They basically told Nigerians that it had nothing to do with a coup plot. According to the military, they said that those arrests had to do with discipline and within the armed forces. So they were carrying out discipline, whatever, within the armed forces. So I'm going to play this clip from Channels TV where a reporter was basically analyzing or reporting on what the military had said. Just have a listen.
The Defense Headquarters had dismissed a false and misleading report by an online platform suggesting that the cancellation of Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary activities was linked to an alleged coup plot. According to the report, 16 military officers from the rank of captain to brigadier general were allegedly detained by the defense intelligence agencies for purportedly holding secret meetings to overthrow the government. However, a statement signed by the Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Tukur Gusau, the Armed Forces of Nigeria, categorically refuted the claims, describing them as fabricated, malicious, and designed to sow fear.
So, like I said, this is basically the reporter reading what the Defense Headquarters had put out as a statement to Nigerians. And I'm not going to blame this reporter. I'm going to put it on the Defense Headquarters. And this is where I really I just want us to really take a pause and have a deep breath and listen, because I don't think people fully understand the level of gaslighting that happened here. The Nigerian Defense Headquarters put out this tweet stating that linking the cancellation of the Nigeria 65th Independence Day anniversary activities to an alleged attempted coup was false and misleading. That was what they told us Nigerians. They essentially accused Nigerians of spreading rumors and deliberately trying to cause fear and instability in the country. In other words, they told us that we are imagining things. This was how much we were gaslighted by the Defense Headquarters. This was how much we were gaslighted by the government. This right here is why Nigerians do not trust the Nigerian police force. This is why the Nigerians do not trust the military. When institutions like this that are meant to, these are institutions that are meant to lead the people, save the people, work for the people, but they're regularly dismissing people, accusing people of lying. They are breaking the trust that we have with them. So I don't know, why would you come out and say there was no attempted coup when you know that there was actually an attempted coup? And I'm going to get into how this coup, how it was planned. So I have to ask, is this a movie? And where's our apology? Because I think we do deserve an apology from the Defense Headquarters. Now I'm going to fast forward you to this year, January 26th, the Defense Headquarters released this statement, completely changing their story. They admitted that their findings from their initial investigation showed that some of the officers that they were investigating were actually planning to overthrow the government. So this is my question again. Why lie? Why did you have to lie to us and gaslight us in the first place? Why did you deny? These lies, again, they create gaps. They create distrust. They disconnect institutions from the people that they are supposed to serve. And once that trust is broken, it becomes very hard for you to breach that gap. It becomes very hard for you to rebuild that trust. If the people trust you, don't let them down. See, guys, you guys have no idea how much I love this country so much. And it's just sad to admit that I almost cannot believe anything that the Nigerian Defense Headquarters or the Nigerian government says. I just cannot believe them because it's all lies. All lies. Their track record shows that they are liars. They will lie to you. They will lie to the people they are supposed to serve. And if I ever find myself being on the same side with the Nigerian government, then that's enough sign to tell me that I'm on the wrong side of history. Unfortunately. Like, how are Nigerians supposed to believe you now when all you do is gaslight them and lie to them? I'm not going to stay on this too long. I want to take you guys into how this coup was actually plotted, how it's supposed to happen, and why it did not happen. So now we know, we've confirmed that there was actually an attempted coup. The military has confirmed it. Now I'm going to tell you how this coup was planned. And everything that I say here can be verified through daily Premium Times. They do a very good job with investigations. So we now know that this coup was initially plotted to happen on the 29th of May in 2023 when Tinubu was taking over from Buhari, and it was allegedly masterminded by Al-Hassan Ma'aji, a colonel. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing this name wrong. They didn't have enough funding and the money to do it then, so they had to stop it then during that takeover. They now reactivated their plans again in 2025 after a former governor of Bayelsa State, Timpaya Silva, who was accused of bankrolling the coup plotters, allegedly transferred almost 1 billion naira to them. Let's be clear, this 1 billion is your money. This 1 billion is Nigeria's taxpayers' money. And it's our oil money. This man was the former Minister of State for Petroleum. He was the Minister for State of Petroleum. So this is our money that he used. So this tells me that this money comes from the petroleum industry. If you guys remember back in November, this former governor was later declared wanted by the EFCC last year. Before that declaration, the former governor had his home raided by soldiers. So who were investigating the failed coup plot to kind of like assassinate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and take over government. This is so crazy. These people were serious. Do you know that they even assigned some officers to take full control of the presidential villas? They even the Nigerian barracks, the armed forces of Nigeria, even the international airports. They literally drew up a map. You take over you take over the airports, all of those things. These plotters planned to assassinate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Vice President Kashim Shettima, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas. I don't know, I'm kind of like surprised that Wiki's name is not here, because I think it's very hated in Nigeria, but that's by the way. Please, this is not a sign to target anybody. So now I'm going to take you to one very important day where everything changed. That was September 30th, 2025. On that day, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was in Imo State, where, if you guys remember very well, he went there to commission some projects and some book launch in Imo State. I think that's the book launch for the governor. While he was there doing all of that, he had no idea that behind the scenes, the security agencies were already stepping in to stop the plot that was actually going to assassinate him. If that didn't happen, he could have been assassinated by now. Now, let me explain how they even found out in the first place, because like I'm saying, they were arrested. So I'm going to tell you how the military found out and how to stop this coup. Before that Imo State trip, sometime in September, one military officer who knew everything about what was going on, he was scared. So he realized that if anything happened and he kept quiet, he could also be dragged into it and be accused of treason. And the result for treason, the punishment for treason is they will pie you. So he contacted the then Chief of Army Staff, Olufemi Oloyede, and he told him everything that was going on. Around that same time, the SSS, they were also picking up intelligence that some 7 officers were planning something dangerous. So they knew that a group of people were planning to do something that would shake up the country. So the army and the SSS worked together and they prepared a joint operation. No one was involved. They did everything on a low key because, of course, if they blow trumpet, people would know what was going on and those people would have disembarked. So they chose September 30th, the same day Tinubu was in Imo State, to act. So while he was giving his speeches, security officers were just behind the scenes arresting people in different parts of the country. They picked out some of the main people who were involved, both military officers and apparently some civilians. And from what was reported in Premium Times, the suspects were taken to an underground detention facility where they were kept. Investigation was being carried out. We are also now learning that a Nollywood filmmaker, actor Stanley Amandi, was arrested alongside some military officers. He was accused of also planning this coup, and the actor allegedly was hired to play the role of a propagandist. I don't even know what that even means. Guys, this is the last person I would ever think will be in on something like this. It's so random. Nigeria is such a random country. Then the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was briefed and he was told about what was going on. According to insiders by Premium Times, they said the president was really afraid. He was shaken up. So imagine being told that people in your own military were planning to assassinate you and take over government. That same day, he cancelled the Independence Day celebration, that parade. So this was why that parade was cancelled, not because of whatever stupid excuse the Nigerian Defense Headquarters gave. Investigation started, and at one point, one of the suspects even escaped, and he was later caught again in Bauchi State. So they were waiting for a day when everyone would be in these coup plotters were waiting for a day when everyone would be in the country, so that then they can easily assassinate all of these people. And the perfect day would be the Independence Day. It makes a whole lot of sense, right? Because that day, the president, vice president, everybody will be in Nigeria. So that was their plan, but it was stopped. They had insiders, people who were watching for them in the Aso Villa, people who were watching the movements, giving them information. So they really knew where the president would be, where because it's possible that they wanted to do this, and maybe the president was in, let's say, Abuja, the vice president was in Lagos, or one was outside the country. So they wanted a perfect day when everybody would be in Nigeria. And if you think about it, that's the Independence Day parade. The president, vice president, everybody will be there. That was their plan. And a day before, which was, was it a day before? Anyways, on September 30th, they were arrested. And that's why Independence Day were cancelled. This is how these people plotted to assassinate the president. And anyways, it was stopped. So now we have, this is all the details. I hope this was detailed enough. And I hope you now know how this coup was plotted. And again, it's so disappointing that the Nigerian military, the government, lied to us, because these people, they don't rate us. They looked into our face and called us liars. They gaslit us. Good luck. Nigeria needs to work on the democracy that we practice. Everybody from top to bottom, there needs to be a reset. I don't want to even get into that. Let me end this conversation here, and I will see you guys again in my next video. Bye now.